I think that it's fair for us to ask ourselves, will we see 100% full capacity Dak Prescott at any point this season, especially if he's overcompensating, consciously or not, for the ankle, and that's causing this shoulder injury potentially? I know you believe it, and it makes sense. Compensating for your back foot, not digging it in as hard as you would, pulling more from your arm and your shoulder to get the football where you want it to be, and you already have a problem there. Has it healed? I mean, they're very confident he's going to be ready to go week 1, but the question is, will he be 100%? And no one's going to know. They'll say all the right things, but we're just going to have to sit and watch and wait week in and week out whether or not Dak Prescott's the guy he used to be.
No, I mean, I think you're exactly right. And I of course, I was watching. I saw Adam Schefter say that. I don't know if he's got inside information or what, or just using common sense to basically be like, man, that type of injury he had with his ankle and foot plus the arm, yeah. I mean, common sense, just that alone makes you think, like, I don't think he's going to be 100% like the first few weeks of the year. I don't think he's 100% moving around to the full capacity he was before he hurt his ankle. And, of course, running is part of his game. Running and his ability to be strong and keep those feet planted in the pocket with trash and people around him and grabbing him were a big part of his game. So he might be a little reluctant to stand in there or take off and run. You might see him go down and just take a sack. And then, of course, hey, you say what you want about me. I'm obsessed with throwing and mechanics and things like that. I see a difference between Dak Prescott before he got hurt to what I've seen this year, throwing the football and the mechanics. So I am interested to see where it goes. And, obviously they're protecting him, and they just want him to be 100%, so they have at least a fighting chance to maybe upset the Buccaneers on our opening night Thursday night game on Sunday Night Football.
Dak reportedly completed 51 of 52 throws during the pregame. Coach Mike McCarthy said he was scheduled to throw 46 to 50. Look, this is kind of like a pro day workout. You complete them all.
Yeah,
you're throwing against air.
Right.
51 of 52 is good. 52 of 52 is presumed, because unless somebody drops the ball right in his hands, you should be getting it to him. But it shows that, more importantly, he was able to throw that many passes. Said Jerry Jones on Saturday night of Dak, he threw with authority and accuracy before the game. If we were lining up against Tampa tonight, he'd be starting and we'd feel great about it. There's no reason to push it. If they said rest it, then let's double rest it. Okay, fine, I understand that. But there's still enthusiasm there. They want to go to Tampa. They want to win. They want the guy they're paying $40 million a year to justify their investment. Because, look, Chris, the point I raised via text over the weekend, Cowboys had a decision to make back in February, March timeframe. Do you apply the franchise tag again, transition tag? Do you sign him to a new contract? Do you let him become a free agent and see what else is out there? I mean, you've got a 4-year deal that's going to be renegotiated as a practical matter after 3 years. You're looking at the first year of that deal, Dak Prescott potentially not being 100% all year long. That's not looking like a good deal. If 1/3 of this contract is going to be spent under a scenario where you're not getting top return for your investment.
No, I mean, you're right. I mean, they might not, but I don't know if they had a whole lot of other options. And I think really what they came down to is, even with his injury and everything like that, a 90% Dak Prescott is worth it to them in the situation, they were in. And that's why he's not playing, this past weekend, or didn't play, is not going to play here in the future. Because, to your point, they're trying to protect that investment. They're paying him all that money not to be good in preseason game 2 or 3. He's a little banged up. They're going to make sure he can play in week 1, because, as we know, again, going back to this, we know the Cowboys' defense will be improved. I don't doubt that. I mean, Dan Quinn's a really good defensive coach, okay, and he's got the right. But they're going to have to score some points. I mean, that Buccaneers offense, I would be shocked if it doesn't hit the ground running. We just saw Bruce Arians in a clip talking about Brady knows the offense now. Now he just called the play. He sees the picture. He doesn't have to think anymore. So they're going to have to score points. They need Dak Prescott out there to win the football game, because the one thing I can tell you is whoever they have as his backup, that ain't going to work, all right? Negative Ghost Rider. So I think it's the smart move. I'm still a little concerned because, as we always talk about, okay, yeah, it's great in that controlled setting before the game, but what about when he's got to step up in the pocket and move and contort his body in a weird way and try to throw a 30-yard laser down the middle of the field with his feet cockeyed and he had to throw it, from some weird body angle? That's where it's a real test to go, okay, wait, is that shoulder all really good? So be interested to see, but I certainly understand them resting and being conservative with this one.
So who's the backup to Dak Prescott? McCarthy said on Saturday, we have one more week and we're going to need it. Garrett Gilbert, Ben DiNucci, Cooper Rush.
It's not DiNucci. That ended this weekend. That's over. I mean, 3 interceptions in preseason games.
Was it ever DiNucci?
No, probably not. You're right. But that is officially over. So let's just go to Cooper Rush and Garrett Gilbert. I think it's one of those two.
McCarthy was also asked about signing a veteran backup. He deflected to say they're always evaluating what's out there at every position. They need to be evaluating what's out there at quarterback. And Chris, as we said last week, Gardner Minshew makes too much sense because people are saying, well, they've got too much money invested in Dak Prescott. Gardner Minshew's making $850,000 this year. He's making less than Garrett Gilbert because it's a minimum salary based on years of experience. Gilbert's actually been around a while, even though he hasn't played much.
Right.
I would take Minshew in a heartbeat. Now, you may have to see, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Supply and demand.
Right.
If you act like you really want Gardner Minshew, then Urban Meyer is going to put his thumb on the scale, and he's going to get as much as he can from Jerry Jones. At some point, you just got to do it, though. You got to, you got lucky. You got Dak Prescott for a 4th-round pick.
Right.
If you got to give up a 4th-round pick now to have a good backup for Dak Prescott, so be it. It evens out.
Yeah.
But you got to do it. Otherwise, and maybe the thinking is, hey, we had Andy Dalton last year and we stunk.
I think maybe
without Dak Prescott.
Right.
If we made this point last week, if we don't have our starter, we're going to stink anyway. What does it matter whether it's Garrett Gilbert, Ben DiNucci, or whoever we grab out of the stand?
I think there might be some thinking of that, and I've thought about it ever since we had that conversation last week. There might be some logic to it to just be like, again, okay, yeah, Andy Dalton. Yeah, he's better than Cooper Rush, but is it going to really translate into a whole lot of wins and things like that? No, probably not. The way their team's built with those receivers and things like that, they need someone kind of like special at quarterback. They really do. And I don't think that offense is creative enough that it can just put this quarterback in and we'll find a new way to do it. No, they need Dak Prescott's ability to throw the ball down the field and everything else he brings to the table. So I don't know, Mike. The more I think about it, maybe that is the logic they're kind of on there in Dallas.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.